Okay, hey everybody, Rebecca Bertoldi here, and I am chatting with Michael today, and we were just actually talking about something so funny, but I'll get back to that in a second. Michael, go ahead and introduce yourself so we can start geeking out with everybody.
Yeah, thank you, Rebecca. I am super excited to be here with you and your beautiful and wonderful audience. My name is Michael Bridgman, and I'm a 20-year veteran of the business space. It's been a long and fun and wild and wacky journey. And now I spend most of my days helping business owners build really, really cool freedom style businesses where they become the leader instead of the worker, and they live a really wonderful life.
Yeah, I love that. And I have to touch really quick on if you think about what has changed in business over the last 20 years. I just wrote something about this, and I'm thinking to myself, like, we were making newspaper ads, and when I started
Yeah.
graphic design training, like it was just where it got to computers were doing it, like just got there.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
you have seen a lot, I am sure.
Oh my goodness, so different. Like just as you were saying, newspaper ads. I remember one of my first big campaigns to grow my family's pet business was putting ads on the back of grocery store receipts.
Mhm.
Remember those? You'd get the receipt, and then on the back of the, I don't know if you guys ever had that down in the States, but
Yeah,
up here in Canada, they would sell all the back side of the space
yeah,
on like a Save on Foods or whatever grocery store you guys have down there. And you would buy ads on the back of the space. And the whole thing was, and this, it's kind of like the social media impressions and reach kind of vanity metric. It's like, yeah, you're gonna get your ads will get seen by 32,000 impressions a day, yeah, because they're on the thing that people crumple up and throw out over and
right.
over and over again. Anyway, I remember I lost my shirt on that campaign, but you live
Yes.
and you learn. But I mean, yeah, way back to those types of things and just the profound impact that social media marketing has had and the differences of website building. I mean, website building, and you're was well versed in this. I mean, it used to be just stuff all over a website, right? Just as much
Yeah.
information as you get to get, right?
Oh
And
yeah,
now you got to be elegant about it for sure.
definitely. I started building websites in Dreamweaver, if you remember that.
Dreamweaver, I remember Dreamweaver. Yeah.
I'm sure nobody on this that's watching knows, but that's okay.
I didn't weave a lot of dreams through
Yeah, I didn't
Dreamweaver.
like
I
it.
got
So,
frustrated in
yeah.
Dreamweaver.
So fast forward to today.
Yeah.
I learned yesterday that, and this is what Michael and I were just talking about.
Hmm.
I learned that people are sending AI versions of themselves into Zoom meetings, and that just blew my mind. Like, is that where we are now? So,
I can't even imagine that. By the way, this isn't really me. I just wanted to tell
right.
you, Rebecca, this ain't me. Yeah, I honestly I can't remotely get my head around that one. You mentioned that to me, and you could see my face. I'm like, what are you
Yeah,
talking about? But
exactly. Yeah.
well, people are
So,
going to find ways of being quote unquote efficient wherever they possibly can. Yep.
so I mean, with that, I feel like, and I say this all the time, we're losing our human connection. Do you agree?
Yes. And well, I think even more importantly than that, on some level, Rebecca, is that we're losing our human connection skill,
Mm. Mm.
right? We're not practicing it as often. We're not, it's like our connection is through phones. It's through this myopic little lens. There's a huge world happening around us, and yet we're focused on this thing. And so I have found over and over again that what you just said is so true. We're losing our human connection on some level, but even when the opportunity arises, our skill to connect, the ability to communicate well is also eroding because we're just so out of practice.
But our AI skills are getting really good.
Yeah, well, maybe yours are.
Collectively.
Collectively. There we go. There we go.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, Michael and I have some things in common that we both love to market to the human brain, and we find
Hmm.
it so fascinating, and we could really geek out for quite some time. But um, you're doing things that I'm not quite doing, so I know that you have some the ways that you're helping people become a leader with these tools. Can you talk more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have a one of the sayings inside my business and with my team and with clients of mine is that humans do business with humans, right? For the moment. But like humans, it's a human making a decision to watch you, to scroll your feed, to connect with you, to download your lead magnet, to buy from you, right? So, and more importantly for business owners too, is it's not only the top end of what I call the hourglass of their business. So lead generation all the way through to sales. But it's also the next level, the bottom side of that hourglass, which is all about operations and delivering, right? The systems that wind up delivering. Because if you're here, then you're likely wanting to build a business, which means you're going to need a team, right? There's a level that a solopreneur can get to, but chances are you're going to want to have some other people helping you along the way. And so for me, the power of leadership and influence flows not just from a leading your market perspective and how to be more persuasive in your marketing and your content, how to be really effective and persuasive in your selling process, but also, of course, how to be a better leader and how to be more persuasive in your team. Because if that team member is not buying into where you're going and what you're selling and what you're offering, well, then they're not going to give their best,
Right.
right? They're going to be looking for the next opportunity. They're going to be just putting in time to get a paycheck and then moving on with their lives. And the only way I was able to systemize myself out of running our $1 million a year revenue, million plus year revenue business in Abbotsford in the pet world was by systems and leadership. Right? It didn't matter how much marketing I had, didn't matter how good the sales process was. If I didn't have the systems and leadership to essentially build out a team that could deliver on what we were offering, right? I was hooped no matter what.
Yep. And I don't think people necessarily think about that. They're like, I want to run ads and I want to get all these leads in and I'm going to do all of this. But are you ready for all of those leads? Are you ready for
Yeah.
a big influx of clients?
Yeah. Yeah. And and underneath that too is do you have any concept of what that really starts to look like and the talent level that's needed? Because I find a lot of business owners are really good at improving. Right, they're really good at building on the fly. They're really wonderful at getting Rebecca as a client and then going, okay, now I got to fulfill on that client, right? And doing their thing. But how good are you at making sure the fulfillment part is systemized and structured so that you're not panicking when that person shows up or when 50 of them show up to buy?
Yeah,
And that becomes portable, right? That bottom part of the hourglass becomes really portable and really useful and sellable, right? Because the one thing most business owners never think of, Rebecca, is their exit strategy.
that's very true. Very true. And, when you don't have those systems in place, and this happened to me, you end up as you're scaling everything. I'm the bottleneck now.
Yeah.
So everything is in my head, in my email, somewhere in my world, and my virtual team cannot access it.
Yeah.
Without those systems, I went through a tough time with that
Yeah.
because, and that's how we learn, right? But I went through that and I was like, oh my God, I'm the one holding everything up here. This is
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And I view business growth as kind of how a spider grows.
right.
It's like they gotta grow, then they gotta crack, and it's painful, and they gotta snap to the next size of themselves, and then they gotta grow, and so there's all these different layers, right? So as you level up your business, you have to level up your leadership skills. And when I talk about leadership, I talk specifically about essentially the art and science of persuasion and focus and discipline, right? I've got a diamond of leadership, as I call it, structure that I walk people through. But that's so crucial. If you're not a great leader, your market's not listening, your sales are going to suck, right? It's going to be tough because you're just pitching, and your team won't know what to do or how to recreate your genius.
Definitely. One of the things I learned, because I got story brand certified, as you know, when I
Hmm.
was going through that process, there was something that they said that totally made it was like a huge light bulb for me. Made such sense. And for me, in a marketing position, I was always like, you know what? really about what they need. We will create something custom for what they need. And as I went through that process with StoryBrand, they were like, if you don't have set packages, you are not scalable. And I was like, all right, that's all you had to say. I guess I get it now,
Yeah,
but I can imagine that comes into play a lot with what you do.
absolutely. Right. If you don't have a set way in which you're going to implement at option A, option B, option C, whatever it is, then everything is freelance. And that feels really cool for a little while, and you can actually make some good money doing that for a little while. But as I just said, like nobody wants to do the same thing forever.
Right.
And Rebecca's an entrepreneur. These people are business builders. They're creative, which means they get a little distracted and we can find other things that we're interested in. Never exactly, right?
Never. No.
So what I find so often with business builders is that they do this thing. They sell their skill, they sell their genius, and then what happens is they get tired and they get burnt out, right? And they get bored.
Mhm.
And if they haven't successfully systemized and structured the deliverables of option A, option B, option C, then the whole quality level starts to deteriorate
Right.
because that quality level was based on the focus and the energy and the intensity of the founder, right? And that will wax and it will wane. And building a structured business with the right systems and being a good leader means that you've got in place the pieces that allow that when you wane, right, your business can still wax, as it were.
Yeah, that makes perfect
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that you do that fascinates me, because especially because this is an area that I am still working on. Not
Mm.
that I've stopped everything else, but
Yeah.
um, but really working on is how you're incorporating all of these ways to connect with humans in your sales, like, and how
Yeah.
you're teaching people that.
Yeah. So thank you for that. And it's tons of fun. So you and I, and because we share our love of brain science. And so I'm a big believer that when somebody calls themselves a salesperson or when they get inside a sales conversation, 9 out of 10 people find that icky, right? They're like, I don't want to be a salesperson. I don't want to sell. I just want people to buy, right?
Yes, that's exactly what I want.
Yeah. I don't want to have to sell. I just want them to buy. So the fact is that if we could take the sales hat off of Rebecca for a moment and put on a decision crafter hat, right? So in other words, I train people to stop thinking themselves as salespeople and start thinking themselves as decision crafters. Your role is to guide that prospect to making a buying choice. Maybe that's a yes, maybe that's a no. But the fact is limbo sucks. Limbo is nowhere. Leaving them stuck in an I don't know situation is not good for you and your business, and it's certainly not good for them and the problems that they're suffering from. So what I want to do is help people go from being salespeople, which means the outcome you're looking for is a sale, okay, to being a decision crafter, which means the outcome you're looking for is a choice.
What a great shift.
Yeah, well, and it takes the pressure off, right?
Mhm.
And so in that concept, I teach something called NDS, neuro decision sequencing. Because you and I both know the brain makes decisions in a very specific pattern, and it does it over and over and over and over again. And so when we understand the pattern, right? When we understand that the decision starts here, right? Curiosity, novelty, a little bit of a hook here, right? You're getting the primal wiring of the brain to open up. Then we move through to story, right? And move through to beliefs, narratives, what's holding them back, right? I call this belief mapping. And then you move to logic and rational choice. Once we understand that there's a sequence and there's a skill and a process to guiding someone through there, right? Then we can sit in a sales conversation, a decision conversation, and just guide them through the process.
I love that.
Hmm. And it makes sales fun. It makes it actually quite interesting. And it makes it so that you want to jump into sales calls, right? I love sales calls because I don't view them as I've got to try and get a sale today. I view them as Can I help understand why this person is stuck and help them make a decision to get unstuck? And when that paradigm shift changed, right, I could align this neurodecision sequencing process up with exactly what they're going through. And suddenly they feel like they're just having an exploratory conversation, figuring out why they're frustrated,
Mhm.
why they haven't got this problem solved yet, right? And then logically what the next choice could be. Because the best way for somebody to buy is to make it the most obvious, rational, logical, safe choice that's right in front of them right now.
And there's that keyword, safe. Like
Safe.
that's really what when we're thinking about all of this brain science and how Michael and I incorporate this into what the masterpieces we create.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what it's all about is people need to feel safe to
Yeah.
buy from you.
Yeah. They need to trust you. Right. And so the whole process is really about, how do I want to put this? It's really about fleshing out why they're still stuck where they are, because this is not the first time they've come to Rebecca to get their website figured out, right? So what's holding them back? Because I have a saying in my business that is, people don't buy when you believe, people buy when they believe. So Rebecca's not going to buy Michael's product, right? When I believe in my product. Of course, I believe in my product, right?
Hope so.
Rebecca's, yeah, Rebecca's gonna buy when she believes in my product. So the process of a sale is, and this is so beautifully put, the process of a sale is the transference of belief, right? One of my good friends who worked a long time at McKinsey Consulting, he gave that to me. He's like, "That's I was taught this, and this is what it is," and I was like, "Oh, that's beautiful, right?
Yeah,
How elegant." Selling somebody something is the transference of belief, your belief into them, so they can finally believe that there is a solution, there is a new way.
absolutely. I was just having a conversation before with a client and we were talking about confidence and how that plays a role in your business. And it's not always about knowing everything, right? We know it's confidence is about knowing everything. It's just knowing that you can roll with the punches basically and
Hmm.
just believing in yourself. But there's so many people that when they go to pitch their business or go to, have a sales call with you that they seem like they're just, I don't know, like they're scared about their what they offer or they're just too timid and you're like, are you sure you can do this?
Yeah.
So you need to have that. And yeah,
even
absolutely.
if even if you're putting it on for the moment,
Right.
right? Like, here's the thing: if people that are watching this right now, they might not feel super confident all the time, they might not feel confident in the sale process.
Right.
But the fact is that you got to wear that, because Rebecca's not buying from you unless she trusts you. And, her and I are both brain science people, which means we know that the brain is picking up all sorts of signals about, body language and eye movement and all these things. And we might not consciously even register what's going on, but we feel it. We call this a feeling. They didn't give me the right feeling, or I felt like they weren't sure,
Yeah.
right? We use the word feeling to represent this huge bucket, this massive, massive volume of information that our subconscious is processing. And if you're unconfident, that's going to come through in your body language. It's going to come through in your tone of voice. It's going to come through in the way your eyes move around your face. It's going to come through in lots of different ways. So, confidence is trust building, right? Trust building allows you to help change their beliefs about something. And once they change their beliefs, then they can buy from you.
Absolutely. And in the beginning when I was, because I've been through quite a sales journey,
Mm,
for me to be able to sell things. And because I went from years and years of referrals, I never really had to sell it. So it shifted once the digital age like really hit after 2020. So I had to start figuring this out. And
okay.
and I'm like, for me, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, is it the best program for them? Am I offering the right custom thing for like? There's so many of
Mm,
those thoughts going through my head.
sure.
And then somebody brought that up to me. They're like, you look like you're not confident in what you're saying. I'm like, I just have a lot going through my head when I'm trying to remember everything.
Yeah.
And what helped me, and I'm sure you have so many tips, but what helped me was I would read through testimonials and reviews before I'd get on those calls so that I
Nice.
could hear the impact that I was having on other people. And I would feel better that knowing that I would find a good solution for them on the call.
Love it. Love it. Yeah. That's very powerful. Have you ever also tried interviewing the client as much as they're interviewing you?
Yes. And I, I am Italian and can't stop talking sometimes. B, um, I feel like sometimes when I'm interviewing them, I'm losing them in tech, and I've gotten a lot better with it. But
Mm,
that's where I was seeing a lot of that. I was because I would talk about like, well, do you have any SEO going on? And they're like, I don't even know what you're talking about right now.
right.
So I've had to, there's again a whole journey I'm still on.
Sure.
But yeah, that was something that I had to, I still have to get better with.
Love it. Yeah. I mean, so one of the things that I found is when I'm wanting to sell my services, uh, you have to stand in your power, right? And so you got to flip the authority sequence
Mhm.
from not just you having knowledge that they want and skills that they want, but you also being the leader they're looking for, the guide that they're looking for. And that requires specific styles of questions. And so you had mentioned the thing about do you have SEO, right? And they're getting confused. What I have always found is that if I ask questions that are more about their outcome they're looking for, then I can bolt in the logical information or the acronym in that case later because it makes sense. They connect the idea, right?
Yes,
So, just a quick tip, even for Rebecca sitting here, right? It's like if we can shift it to going, so how are people finding your website right now, right? How much traffic is your website getting, right? Do you know where to find that information?
right,
And these are our questions that a leader, a guide, a doctor in this particular situation would ask because they're trying to get a comprehensive picture before they diagnose.
got it,
And what I find is that a lot of really smart, very skilled, savvy people that are good at what they do, they move towards the questions that they want answers for technically to start solving the problem in their brain rather than asking the questions that give them a fuller picture of why this person's still where they're at.
right, right. And that's such a great tip, and I hear it all the time. Not that specific tip, but I hear things like that, and I think for me, it's the implementing it. So, how do you help your clients implement systems like that?
Yeah. So I encourage them to be interested, not interesting,
Tell me
right?
more.
So as a decision, well, there you go. So tell me more. So as a decision crafter, right, part of your job is just to be very curious about the prospect on the other side of the conversation. And so when they reveal a piece of information, pull the thread. Oh, why you're not sure what SEO is, or you're not sure where your web traffic is coming from. Oh, have you never looked at your Google Analytics dashboard? No, I haven't. Oh, do you know where to find it? Oh, you know what? I we see this all the time, right? There's all this technical stuff going on in the background. Why don't we take a look right now, right? And you're being curious, right? And because people, here's the other thing: don't mistake building rapport
Mm,
for good sales. Because people think that building rapport means that they're doing a good job selling. I don't, and Rebecca's wonderful and everything else. But if I'm buying her product, I don't need her to understand where I grew up.
right.
Right? I need her to understand what my problem is and whether her product or service can solve it. So you want to be able to pull on the threads that are actually important because people want to hear, they want to feel heard, they want to feel understood. They want to feel that you can relate to them where they're at. You don't want them to, because I see a lot of salespeople that make the person on the other side of the conversation feel stupid,
Yeah, we can't do that.
right? Feel less than them, feel like they don't have, like, this person's got, like, Rebecca's got all this information and she's hiding it from me because she's the expert. And now I've got to be like, oh, wow, I guess I really don't know what I'm doing. right? You
Yeah.
want the person to buy and they feel empowered.
Hmm.
And so um, there's a great saying from Dale Carnegie. I think it's, if I'm going to get this wrong, but a person who makes a decision against his will hasn't changed their mind still, something like that.
Okay.
I'm getting it wrong, but that's the gist of it, right? And so you've got to be able to, ask the right questions to keep pulling those threads and find out what's really going on and be comfortable helping them make a decision, Rebecca, instead of wanting to make the sale,
I love that.
right?
That's such a
Because if you,
good way to look at it.
yeah, if you're helping them make a decision, it doesn't matter how cool you are. It doesn't matter how good you are,
Right.
right? You don't have to be confident if you're just asking them questions about them, right?
Exactly.
But that's where the power sits.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's rumors that you brought a giveaway for everyone
Oh,
that's
yeah,
watching.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So besides the fact that I've got this thing on my feet, hang on. Oh, I, oh, good. Ah,
Aw.
yeah, very noisy at the moment. Oh, goodness. My 3-month-old 40-pound Mastiff puppy. Huge. Okay, so anyway, yes, free giveaway as us entrepreneurs get distracted. Um, so I've got on my YouTube channel, people can go and check it out. And the YouTube channel, I will just bring it up here so I get the name right. It's called Time to Lead Academy. And on that channel, there is a training called how to stop, oh gosh, how to stop feeling trapped in your own business. How to stop feeling trapped in your own business. And in that, it's just a quick 40-minute training. It's totally free. They can go grab it. And in there, there's also a way to get a deeper amount of questions that I ask all of my very, very high-end clients. We go deep onto what's keeping them trapped inside their business. And so there's a series of questions to ask. So they can grab that right there. Once again, then go to my YouTube channel, right? Time to Lead Academy. One of the trainings is called How to Stop Feeling Trapped in Your Business. And they can grab a freebie from there. And it's about a 40-minute diagnostic process to go through. And then I give this extra series of questions as well. Because so many business owners have built an entire business in their brain and on their back. And they are trapped. They're stuck. And they've hit a glass ceiling, they've hit a plateau, completely unsure how to actually get out of it because they don't know what's really going on. It's like it's like they're inside the bottle trying to read the label.
Right. Right.
And it's not their fault. It's perfectly normal. It's perfectly natural. But along like somebody did for me many, 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 many moons ago, someone's got to come along and go, look, let's go through the process because there's parts of your business that are keeping you completely stuck where you're at. If we don't identify them, then you're going to keep doing the things that you're good at,
Hmm.
right? That you're naturally gifted at. You're going to keep focusing on those things, hoping that they bear the level up results that you initially got. Because building a business from zero to $250,000 is one version of Rebecca.
Right.
The next version to get it to 7 figures, let's say,
Hmm.
she different.
Hmm.
So what else, what's missing in that process to make sure that you get there? And so this, the diagnostic tool goes through the three main parts of your business, right? We call them marketing, sales, operations. I like to call them lead sales systems. So it
Hmm.
goes through the three main parts of your business and it asks a series of questions about each section to make sure we understand pretty quickly. Okay, this is a green light. It's great, working. Don't worry about it. This is a yellow light, so could be a warning here. Not quite working as well as we want. Here's a red light. This is a what I call a bleeding neck problem. Like needs to be solved ASAP, or else the rest of the business is choking off.
Very cool. Very cool. So we're gonna link that for you guys, so you don't have to search. We'll have it right here with our notes.
Okay,
But
great.
man, there was so many good things that you shared today, and
Thank
I'm
you.
so happy that you did. And I know my audience is gonna love every second of it.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having me on here, Rebecca. It was a ton of fun. So much appreciated to you and the fabulous work that you do, because the audience wouldn't be there unless you were amazing.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that, and I know we're gonna talk soon,
Yeah, you betcha. Thanks so much. Ciao for now.
guys.